Did you know that for just $50 you could get a 2-foot by 3-foot photo printed to a canvas? I've had a few questions about the prints on the wall behind me, so today I thought I'd show them a little bit more detail as well as give some tips on how I made them. So this is a print I made by flying my Mavic Air 400 feet up in the air to take a photo of our 2-acre backyard forest. I then added these various lines in an image editor called GIMP. The blue lines are a couple of small creeks that we have flowing through the property, and the white lines are all the trails that I built. It's hard to see the trails through the canopy forest, so even after the leaves have dropped. So what I did is I took about a dozen white bath towels as reference points. See them on various spots here. And then I manually edited in the trail lines. If you're curious, I have a couple of time-lapse videos of those trails in the making. The other two prints were generated, I have one of animals and one of plants. They are generated from photos that I've uploaded to iNaturalist.com. This is the animal print, with the exception of those seagulls. Every one of these animals we found in our backyard, which is amazing considering we're in the middle of a Birmingham, Alabama suburb. That heron is not a real big fan of, we're not a real big fan of him because he ate most of our pond fish. I also found these wooden creatures in our backyard. This is a elephant. That's an alien. And this guy clearly is the devil. This is the plant print. Over 150 different plants in one backyard. The iNaturalist phone app has turned me into an amateur botanist. I didn't know hardly anything about plants before I started playing with that app. After you use the app to upload a photo, it uses its vast database to suggest what the plant might be, and which can later be confirmed by fellow iNaturalist users. You can upload as many photos as you want, but for this photo I limited it to 2 photos for each plant, which is usually a leaf and a flower, fruit, or a nut. The app works best in identifying when it has a flower. So we have flowers in pretty much all of these guys. In addition to the app, there's a nice website. Let me show you that. So this is the iNaturalist.org website. You can see my identification of a carpenter bee here, followed by a couple other iNaturalist users who agreed with the identification. You can also compare with other users' photos and see maps. Look at all your observations this way. They also offer an API, which is documented on this web page. So I wrote a Python script that downloads, for a given user, defaults to me, will download selected observations. You could do all of them, or just plants or mushrooms or insects. Downloads the photos and then formats various HTML files for different ways of viewing. That's what you can see here on my photo blog. I have an iNaturalist webpage, and this is the wall photo of the plants. This is the wall photo of the animals. And these are the HTML files that I generated with that Python script. So in addition to showing the photos, it lists Wikipedia entries about the animal and plants. Indoor air quality is high at 394. And that's our furnace fan going on, stove fan going on because someone's cooking, as well as links to Wikipedia and the original iNaturalist observation. The other view that we have auto-generated with that Python script are pairs of photos for each observation. To create the animal print, I used a program called GIMP. This is a funny name, but a great program. So the photos downloaded by that Python script, open them as layers. Select all the photos you want in the poster and then you go to filters, and this is the plugin that has the mosaic option under arrays. You'll see this.
Indoor air quality is high at 260.
So after it's loaded in the photos, you can usually add a padding, 1 pixel pad and a 1 pixel frame, and then you can play with this cycle layers slider to randomly select a different number, which will then create a different, resize various photos in different ways to give you different aspect ratios and ordering. So you have to fiddle with this for a little bit to pick until you get the aspect ratio you're looking for. Then you apply, and then you can export into a PNG or whatever you like. You see my creatively named PNG print. There you have it. For the plant print, I wanted a little bit more control, so I used a different program called ImageMagic. In 2 steps. First, I ran this simple Perl script, which called ImageMagic program on pairs of photos, adding a label to each one. Once that is done, I ran ImageMagic again, telling it how many tiles I wanted and how many pixels I wanted, and that comes up with another PNG file. Then it's a rather large PNG file, so I size it down to be something less than 60 megabytes, which is a limit that many of these printing sites have, and I upload it. The site I used was canvasdiscount.com, but there's plenty of other sites out there. I picked the canvas print option, but use also a little bit more money. You can get acrylic prints and photo board prints. You can even print to a metal print. So I uploaded those iNaturalist and ImageMagic scripts to GitHub, link below, as well as a link to the example web pages that were generated by that iNaturalist script. So if you have any questions, feel free to ping me. Thanks for watching.